You're an F-22 pilot deep in the Pacific. Your jet is the most advanced air superiority fighter ever built, radar cross-section the size of a marble, supercruise at Mach 1.5 without afterburner. But your combat radius is only 590 nautical miles. China's J-20s are operating 1,500 miles from their bases. To reach them you either burn massive fuel in afterburner, turning your stealth jet into a glowing infrared beacon, or you hang non-stealthy 600-gallon drop tanks that light up enemy radars like a Christmas tree. For 2 decades that physics trade-off has been the unbreakable wall. Until February 2026. At the Air and Space Forces Association Symposium, Lockheed Martin rolled out a scale model they're quietly calling Raptor 2.0, or, in the halls, the Super Raptor. And the engineering story behind it is pure first principles compromise. Title card slams in, the new F-22 Super Raptor just dropped. Visual, slow pan over the actual scale model photos, faceted low observable tanks under the wings, sleek IRST pods outboard. The U.S. Air Force has only 143 combat-coded Raptors. Production line closed in 2011. The next true 6th-gen fighter, Boeing's F-47 NGAD, is still years from squadron service. In any Taiwan scenario the fight is 5,000 miles from Hawaii. Tankers are vulnerable. You need fighters that can fly long legs, stay stealthy, and still dominate the merge. So the Air Force asked a simple question. How do you give a jet that was deliberately designed with no external stores more range, without destroying the one thing that makes it special? Stealth is all about radar cross-section, how much electromagnetic energy bounces back to the enemy's radar. The F-22's airframe is a masterpiece of planform alignment and edge diffraction. Every surface is angled so radar waves scatter away from the receiver. Internal weapons bays. Sawtooth doors. RAM coatings. RCS is almost equal to 0.0001 square meters from the front. Now strap a cylinder full of jet fuel under the wing. The moment you do that, 2 things happen. Wave drag skyrockets because the tank creates a blunt body in supersonic flow. Specular reflection turns your marble into a billboard. Old drop tanks increased RCS by orders of magnitude and added so much drag that supercruise became impossible. The fundamental equation here is simple. Total drag equals parasite plus induced plus wave. Wave drag is proportional to the volume and the bluntness of the shape in Mach 1 flow. You cannot cheat the second law of thermodynamics or Maxwell's equations. You can only shape the compromise. Visual, CFD simulation of standard drop tank versus new faceted LDTP, color contours of pressure and flow separation. Lockheed's answer, faceted, low observable external tanks that are actually designed to fly at Mach 1.2 plus while carrying fuel. Shape, sharp edges aligned with the Raptor's planform, radar-absorbent materials, blended pylons that act like mini-wings. Performance, same plus 850 nautical miles of range as the old tanks, but the jet can still supercruise with them on. Jettisonable, empty them in combat and you're back to clean config marble RCS in seconds. This is not marketing hype. Wind tunnel testing finished 2023. Flight testing began Q1 2024. First squadron deliveries targeted end of March 2026. They also added advanced sensor pods, stealth-shaped underwing IRST, infrared search and track, units sitting outboard of the tanks. Why IRST? Because in a world of stealth on stealth, radar is a two-way street. IRST is passive. It stares at the sky, picks up the heat plume of an enemy engine or skin friction at Mach 2, and never emits a photon that can be triangulated. The pod is stealthy, but not invisible. Adding it increases RCS slightly. The Air Force accepts that trade-off because the ability to detect first, shoot first, without turning on your own radar, is worth it. Visual: close-up of the scale model showing IRST pod detail, then cut to IR plume animation on AJ-20. Even better, one Raptor with the pod can data link tracks to clean Raptors nearby. Distributed sensing. Network-centric warfare at the speed of light. This is the same TAC IRST family being rolled into the Infrared Defensive System, IRDS, that upgrades the missile launch detectors, turning the Raptor into a node in a larger sensing web. Let's be brutally honest. These tanks still add weight and drag compared to internal fuel only. When you jettison them, you've just thrown away expensive composite structures. Maintenance on external pylons and coatings is not free. The IRST pods are another maintenance headache, and they do degrade the absolute lowest possible RCS. And the entire Super Raptor package, LDTP, IRST, new processors, EW upgrades, viability program, is costing billions on top of the existing $10.9 billion Ares sustainment contract. Per jet, roughly $90 million in upgrades for the new hardware alone. That's more than an entire new F-35 in some years. But here's the first principles reality. It is cheaper than reopening the F-22 production line, estimated $100 million plus per jet just to restart tooling. It is faster than waiting for NGAD. And it keeps 178 airframes viable into the 2040s or even 2060 if needed. Is this a revolutionary new fighter? No. It's a